Today we're tackling subtracting unlike fractions. So yesterday we did adding unlike fractions. Today is subtracting unlike fractions, and they're worked exactly the same way. So let's take a look at page 651 in your textbook. Page 651 says, a female Cuban tree frog can be up to 5/12 of a foot long, and a male Cuban tree frog can be up to 1/4 of a foot long. How much longer is the female than the male? So, how much more than? Keyword for subtraction. So we have 5/12 minus 1/4. 5/12 minus 1/4. We know right away that we cannot just go ahead and subtract because these denominators are not alike, they're not the same. So we need common denominators. I know even without listing my multiples, I know that 12 is a number that they both share, happens to be the least number that they both share. We don't have to do anything to this 12, it's already a 12. So we don't do anything to this 5 since we didn't do anything to the 12. Keep your subtraction sign. Now on this side, how could we turn that 4 into a 12? Multiply by 3. So whatever we do to the bottom, we do to the top. And 1 times 3 is 3. So this ends up being 5/12 minus 3/12. 5 minus 3 is 2. And the 12 just stays and carries over. Now these are both even numbers, and when they're both even numbers, we know that they are definitely both divisible by 2. So divide by 2, divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So the female is 1/6 of a foot longer than the male. 1/6 of a foot longer than the male. Okay. Example 2 says, Jessie finished half her homework. Lakshani finished 4/5 of her homework. What fraction more of her homework did Lakshani finish than Jessie? Now, the important thing is this tells me what fraction more for Lakshani. So it tells me that she's the most. So we're going to start with her at 4/5, and we're going to subtract Jessie at 1/2. So because it says what fraction more for Lakshani than Jessie, that tells me Lakshani is first because she's the most, Jessie is second. Okay, there is not, we don't have the ability to just go ahead and subtract because 5 and 2, these are not like denominators. So let's go ahead and get common denominators. If I listed the factors or the multiples of 5, I'd be 5, 10. And I know that this would 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So let's go with 10. What would I have to do to the 5? Multiply it by 2. So whatever I do to the bottom, I do to the top. 4 times 2 is 8. Now the bottom over here, what would I have to do to the 2 to make it a 10? Times 5. 1 times 5 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. And the 10 just stays. There isn't anything that 3 could be divided by that 10 could also be divided by, so we're done at 3/10 more homework. Okay, let's take a look at your independent practice, or sorry, guided practice. Page 652 at the bottom. It says 3/8 minus 1/4. Again, we do not have like denominators. We must find a common denominator. I know that I could just keep this 8 because I could turn the 4 into an 8. So let's just keep the 8. We wouldn't do anything to the top because we didn't do anything to the bottom. Now here, I could turn this 4 into an 8 if I multiply by 2. So do the top times 2. 1 times 2 is 2. So 3 minus 2 is 1, and you keep your denominator. So 3/8 minus 1/4 is 1/8. Okay, now remember what we said yesterday. When we find common denominators and make these like fractions, what I'm really doing is making an equal fraction for 1/4 that has 8 on the bottom. 2/8 and 1/4 are equal. When we think about our lesson on comparing fractions a couple of weeks ago, I said you could start at the bottom, multiply across the top, and write your answer here. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 1 is 8. So we would say that these fractions are equal because 8 is equal to 8. So if we use our comparing fractions rule, you can easily see that these are equal. So it's not that 2/8 is any bigger than 1/4. They're exactly equal. It's just another way of writing it so that I have an 8 on the bottom to match the 8 on the bottom in my first fraction. Hopefully that helps you understand it a little bit better. Again, you do not have to complete the independent practice for me. The key word there is have. You do not have to complete it, but completing it certainly wouldn't hurt. Your homework assignment will be pages 655 and 656, 655 and 656, those 7 problems there. We have one more lesson this week, which will be writing fractions as a decimal. And then that will be the last concept that we're going to cover. And next week, we're going to be working on a review. So let me know if you have any questions. Hope you're having a great day. Bye.